Welcome everyone. It's Alfie Dixon from Heavyweight News, and I'm joined with English heavyweight champion Fabio Wardley. Fabio, thanks for coming on today, mate.
No worries, mate. No worries. How's things? You all good?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good.
You've got a little podcast going, haven't you? I definitely tell people about
Yeah,
that.
I've dipped my toe in the podcast arena. Yeah, it's just a bit of fun really at the moment, just to give it a go. Like, I listen to a lot of podcasts as it is, and I've always enjoyed them, and it's fun to now kind of have one going myself and pay attention to topics that might be interesting. And I got the first episode out yesterday, so good feedback and that from it, which is good. So yeah, I'm enjoying it. It's good.
Where can people find that, Fabio?
So yeah, the podcast is it's called Clearly Confused. It's hosted by me and a good friend of mine named Phil Day. They can find it on the Apple Podcasts app. You can find it on Spotify, or you can find it on YouTube as well.
It's a proper setup.
Yeah, proper setup. We've got it, like we figured it all out. We did it all properly and that got it all sorted. So this week there's no visuals, but for next week and then going forward, there's going to be a full visual to go alongside with it as well. So if you want to sit and watch it on YouTube, you can. Or if you just want to listen to it wherever in the car or whatever, then you can again through, like I say, Apple Podcast and Spotify as well. So yeah, just search Clearly Confused and you should be able to find it.
And what sort of people are you going to have on it? Are you going to get any of your, is it just your mates, or is it going to be other people in the boxing world? Is it going to be lots of different?
It's going to be a mix, to be honest. I don't want it to be. I didn't want it to be solely focused on either me or boxing. I wanted it to be quite just general, because there's a lot more. As stupid as it sounds, there's a lot more to me in life and stuff than it is just boxing. I do a lot of different things. I have a lot of different friends in different arenas and etc. So it was just to I'm going to keep it quite broad at the moment. Again, starting small, we're going to keep it to friends, just people we think in and around us that have good, interesting stories that would spark a good conversation. And then hopefully later down the line, we're going to look to get obviously some bigger and more kind of drawn in terms of names and stuff and things like that on. But yeah, for the moment, we're keeping it pretty small.
Mate, I'm definitely going to tune into that. Sounds good.
Thank you.
So what's been going on with you, mate, boxing-wise? I mean, obviously you had a fantastic win. You won the English heavyweight title. Obviously, it takes some time to then get the right fights and keep your training going and stuff. What's the latest with you? What have you been doing training-wise? Have you had to up the tempo of training? Have you kept it the same? Do you wait until you've got a fight announced and then go for it, or do you stay ready?
Nah, stay ready always. That was something I learned in my first kind of year of boxing, is that you need to, you can't get to any kind of levels, any kind of heights in this sport if you're not staying ready. Like it's no good to just get ready when you've told you got a fight or when you think you might be fighting or rah. You need to be in the gym all year round. Now don't be stupid with it. You don't need to be going crazy 24/7, but you need to be at a good place where if you get the call, you can respond to that and say, yeah, I'm good for 2 weeks notice, I'm good for 3 weeks notice, whatever. But yeah, for a while now, I've been aiming towards the same card as Dill, so the 21st of November, the Povetkin White 2 bill. So that's what we've been aiming towards. That's what we've been looking to do.
Yeah,
it's still on track. That's all been fine. That's all going to happen. That's a definite. But it's just opponent. That's the only thing that's kind of in the air at the moment, depending on who we might have.
Yeah, I think you knew this was coming. But in a little bit of back and forth at the moment online with Lucas Big Daddy Browne, who's obviously he held the WBA heavyweight title back in 2016. He's 29-2. His losses coming to Dave Allen and Dillian White. What's going on there? Give me a little update of, how did that come about? Did you call for him? Did he call for you? I know he's been quite sort of out there with trying to get a fight, and he's having a hard time at the moment because of everything going on with COVID, as everyone else is. So how did that come about, Fabio?
It was a roundabout thing. Like me, the team, like Dylan, that in private they suggested names to me, like Lucas Browne, like other people. And me being me, I say yeah to everyone. I just say yeah, line them up, set them up, blah blah blah. And they did, and we were going back and forth and stuff. And then they came back and said that Lucas Browne had said no for whatever reason, and so had said no, and blah blah blah. So I kind of, time was going on, and I was still lacking an opponent, and I decided just I needed to kind of take control and get things in my own hands and start kind of calling for some people. So I put it out. I went for Lucas and said, look, and I did it in, I think, the most polite way possible, with like, look, I'm not doing this to call you any names, to say anything nasty about you. I don't know the guy. I've got nothing bad against him. I just need a decent fight. I said, look, if you want it, you can have it. And it was going back and forth, and he came up with some excuses, some reasons not why you can't, blah, blah, blah. And then I let that be. I let that lie. And then he came out and said, oh, he was looking to fight someone else. He wants to fight this person in a few weeks' time or in a month's time or whatever. And I was like, hang on, you told me that you can't fight for whatever reasons you laid out, and then a couple of days later you're saying, oh, you want to fight this person and that person. So if you don't want to fight me in particular, just say that. Don't give me the excuses. Don't give me the stories to go with it. Just say, like, no, I don't want to fight you. You're too dangerous. You're too much of a risk. Whatever reasonings you have is fine. That's cool, but don't be sly about it. Be honest and say, look, I'm not doing that. And that's kind of where the back and forth came from. And I can be a bit of a, like, I can go for you a little bit. If I have a little thing for you, I can go. I can nibble at you a bit and keep poking you and keep prodding you and getting you there, and that kind
Going
of
up to press conferences with a mock moustache, little things like
yeah.
that.
If I find a little bit in you that I can get at, then like, God knows I'm going to get there. Don't worry. And I've done that a bit with Lucas Browne. I've poked him, prodded him publicly and in private chat. Like, we've spoke a lot on Instagram just between us, and I've poked him and stuff in there as well. And hopefully we're going to get there, but we're trying to sort out some financials at the moment, which is proving a bit of a problem, but we're trying to figure it out.
Mate, I'm like you. I have a lot of respect for Lucas Browne. I speak to him every now and again. But from seeing how much he comes across like he wants to fight, I am hoping that there is no excuse that he could make to take it. And I'm sure, from what I've seen, he's mentioned you in a couple of his stories and stuff like that. So hopefully you can get it on. I think that'll be a good fight. I mean, he wants to fight. He's saying he's got maybe 10, 11 fights left, apparently, 3-4 years. So we'll see what happens, mate. I don't know. I don't know if there is an excuse, that he hasn't trained and stuff. But the last thing I saw, and when I put the post up that I was going to be speaking to you, he commented on that. So I can only see that he's going to be having a positive reaction to fighting you as well. So, it's
yeah, massively. And like the whole I haven't been training thing is like, come on, mate. You're ultimately, your job as a professional boxer. You are, above all and everything else, you should be a professional. That should mean that you should be training. You should be in some sort of decent condition, most of the year round. Like there's no real reason, if you're really in this game and you one, respect the sport of boxing, and two, you want to actually do stuff in it, you should be ready. You shouldn't just be doing nothing until you get the call 8, 10, 12 weeks out and then you jump into camp. You should just be ready. Like, and don't get me wrong, I'm training. I train when I don't have fights. I train when there's no sign of a fight. All the way through lockdown, when there was no sign whatsoever, I was still in the gym every day. I was still training because that's my job. That's what I do. And I don't feel it's a fair thing to say, like, oh, well, I haven't been training. Like, that's on you. That's your problem. That's not for me to worry about.
How do you rate him as a fighter, from if you have seen many of his previous fights? How do you rate your styles gelling together?
I think my style is the worst for him. The worst completely. Just because don't get me wrong, he's a big guy and he hits very hard. And if he hits you, 9 times out of 10, a lot of them boys are going down. But someone like me who doesn't get hit that often, who's quick, who's sharp, who picks you, who pokes you, is, again, just annoying in the ring as well. It's going to be difficult for him to get them kind of shots off on me. But like I say, he's confident in his big right hand, and if he can land it, then don't get me wrong, I'm sure it's going to hurt, but he's got to get there first.
And what's White's thoughts on everything? What's Dillian's thoughts on everything so far? Because I know you mentioned he's come back with a couple of stories and stuff like that, because obviously Lucas Browne's come back with his own comments and stuff, and I've seen a bit of back and forth. So where does he stand with this whole thing? Does he ultimately want you to fight Lucas Browne as well?
Yeah, massively. He wants that fight. He thinks it's a great fight. Everyone does. He does. I think it's a good fight. Eddie at Matchroom thinks it's a good fight. Everyone does. We're trying to get it made, but like I say, the issues here is financials. He's asking for a certain amount of money that it's just in the climate of everything is probably not doable, which has proven a problem. But then that again, that contradicts it because apparently, well, I saw it for myself. It's not even apparently. Like a few days ago, he was setting up a GoFundMe page because he was saying he hasn't got any money. So I don't know how you can then you have a fight offered to you for good money, but you're going to price yourself out. But then a few days later, you need money and you've got to set up a GoFundMe. So like beggars can't be choosers. What's going on here? Which one is it? Kind of thing. Like, just I'm cool with whatever, but just pick a side, innit? Either you don't need the money and you want this, or you do need the money and you're going to take what comes your way, kind of thing. I don't know how you can play both sides.
If that fight does take place, which I really hope it does, how do you see that finishing, Fabio? How do you think that will go?
I think I'll be me stoppage within 3-4 rounds, something like that. Just like I say, it'll go a similar way to how the Simon one. I'll chill for a couple of rounds. I'll do my bits that I need to do to gather that information, gain that information, and figure the holes out. And once I see them, it's game over.
Yeah, I honestly do think it'll be a good fight. I really do hope that everything financially can be finalised, because that'll be a really good addition to that bill, which is already a hugely exciting bill.
Yeah, to be fair, it is already a massive card as it is, but
that'll be huge.
Adding me and Lucas Browne in there as well would be the icing on the cake, I think.
No doubt, mate, Lucas Browne will watch this. So if there was anything you wanted to say to him to try and get that fight sorted and try and get him to see sense and take the fight like you want him to, what would you say to him, Fabio?
I don't know. Like I said, me and Lucas have had a lot of chats in private. We've spoken one-to-one on, so I know his stance on things, and he knows mine. So there's not really much more I can say to him other than let's just be realistic with the times and realistic with the opportunities in front of us, and hopefully we can get something sorted.
Mate, I'm fingers crossed for that. And one last thing I wanted to ask you, mate, before I let you go and get on with your Saturday, is obviously a huge fight tonight between Usyk and Chisora. I'm sure you've been asked your prediction. What do you think is going to happen with that fight, Fabio?
It's hard for me because on home soil, I always want to back a Brit. I always want to back a Brit. But I've had experience of, fortunately, being in the ring with the pair of them. I've shared the ring with the both of them, and just I think my opinion is similar to most. I just think Usyk's going to come out on top. And I just think that the way his style is not ideal for Derek at all. It's a style that you've seen Derek look flat against before, and Usyk's the best to do that kind of style. So it's going to be a difficult one for Derek, and if he does, like, I think he'll put a lot in. Don't get me wrong. I think Chisora will put a great showing of himself in, but I think that will just fuel Usyk more to show his really kind of world class abilities and really show off kind of what he's all about for this. And like I say, there's questions to ask about Usyk. It's his big step into the heavyweight division, so he's gonna want to put on that kind of performance that says, no, don't underestimate me. I'm here, guys. I can mix with these boys.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell especially from the weigh-ins yesterday, and I find Chisora really turned up the heat and come out, and he was in his Halloween attire. He come out, he was pushing himself onto Usyk, and he was saying, as Usyk said, he kept saying war over and over again, and saying, I know you can understand me, war. And I just feel like Usyk's either going to see that and go, I'm way too experienced to be bothered by that.
Yeah.
Because they've been showing quite a lot of respect for each other up till now, he might think, Jesus Christ, this guy does mean business now. He's going to try and take my head off. So I think you're completely right. If anyone can handle the pressure, it's going to be someone like Usyk. And he's...
Yeah.
But there's always chance in heavyweight division. You know more than anyone that you could take one of the big punches. You shot a few people up when you won the heavyweight English title, didn't you? Where you might have hours. So these big guys, mate, a lot of the natural cruiserweights can't handle the big punches. So
Yeah.
but that's why it's such an exciting fight.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. So I'm. To be fair, I woke up this morning buzzing. I thought, like, oh yeah, come on, it's fight night. I am really, really like buzzing for this fight to see how it plays out, because if Del can do it, then it's massive.
Oh, mate, it's going to be huge. But listen, I really appreciate you coming on, mate. Thank you very much. And who knows, Lucas Browne might want to send you a message back, so we'll see.
Get him on, see what he has to say for himself.
Exactly, mate. But thank you very much, Fabio. Always good to talk to you, mate.
You too, bud. Catch you soon.
See you later, mate. Take care.
Laters.